Today was a day. That's all I gotta say.
Feel you, dog.
What's good, everybody? How we feeling? Y'all tapped in. We got another panel, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So you can currently see there's only 3 of us right now, but we're waiting for one more. So he gonna get here when he ready. You know. But hey, we tapped in. Welcome back to the consumer group chat. You tapped in with the Flex Mob. You tapped in with Lightwalker and NK. Ladies and gentlemen, we got something to talk about today, and that's going to be revolving around Black history. What's good, Jonathan? How you feeling? Before we continue, there's a birthday in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, February 26th is Noah King's birthday.
Big up Pisces. Big
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
In the zodiac.
Happy
Shout
birthday,
out.
Noah. You know, wishing you many more. I believe it's your 31st birthday, if I'm correct.
Big up.
You know, 90s gang, you know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
So, yeah, like I said, we're going to be dealing with an interesting topic for Black History Month. I didn't want to keep it traditional. I wanted to make it unique, and I wanted to explore music and entertainment. So, from here on out, what we're going to be talking about is going to be towards the behind the scenes of a lot of different television programming and a lot of music backgrounds from different like managers and creators. So it's going to be good today, trust me. Now, I mean, I technically gave y'all an introduction, but I feel like I could do it again right now. You know what I'm saying? So under me, we got the man that just got back from Australia, all the way from down under. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Lightwalker X here with us today. What's popping?
We still adjusting. The circadian rhythm is not in flux, but we'll be fine. Glad to be a part of the panel. Happy Black History Month, and it should be every month.
Yes, happy Black History Month for sure. Now to the well, my left, your right. We got the one of the most unique rappers in all of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, we got NK in the building, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Shout out, same. You know, happy Black History Month. You know, but you know, and on top of that, like we gotta learn our history. You know, at the end of the day, all of us. You know, I feel like that's our responsibility. Not only when it's Black History Month, but even outside of that. Like, you know, we gotta read up, watch whatever documentaries you can watch. Just soak up knowledge, bro. That's what it's about.
It's true though, because nowadays they like to burn books and use AI to rewrite, right? So I don't know, it's a challenging game that we have out here, but as long as we stay locked in on us, we should be all right. Now, for the people that already know, I am a 90s baby, right? Growing up, listen, y'all know me. I watch a lot of television programming, understand me? All kind of TV shows, channels ranging from BET, Much Music, TBS, Spike, Peachtree, YTV, Teletoon, Cartoon Network, like list goes on, bro. The list goes on. But there are certain television programmings that we grew up that really helped shape our minds in music. And one of those programming television shows was 106 in Park. I know every one of us here are familiar with this show. This show has been cemented in our brains as something just we'll never get this again, unfortunately. No matter how hard we try. You know, I've had plenty of conversations with people all over my Discord. Is there a way to bring it back? Is there any kind of way we can figure it out? No.
Yeah.
No.
That's not happening.
That's a moment in time. But one thing that we don't do is that we don't celebrate the creators that put these shows together. One of those creators is Stephen Hill. Funny enough, a black man put together something as outstanding as 106 in Park. He wanted to make sure that he targets the younger generation and trying to get them roped into the hip hop game by having all these different artists, all these different music videos be spotlighted on the show, having multiple countdowns, different freestyles, rap battles, etc., exposing the younger generation to the culture. At this point, I want to turn the question to the panel, and that question is: did 106 in Park really impact your lifestyle? Did it really introduce you to the rap game, the hip hop pillars that were on display? Like, just let me know. I'll start with NK.
I mean, I think that goes without saying. I think like ultimately, especially growing up in Canada, right? Like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, Canada, like being black in Canada is not an identical like experience to being black in the US. But there's a lot of things we relate on, you know what I mean? So in a lot of ways it was like, you know, the window and a window to like, you know, what's going on down there and like connecting to the culture down there as well. So I feel like, yeah, easily like 106 I used to watch like every single week, like Freestyle Friday. Like I was you know, tapped in. I remember when like Jin won. I remember like Hollow the Dawn was on there like a long time ago. Like I used to watch
Blind Fury.
Blind Fury,
Blind Fury, yeah.
Blind Fury, bro. That's
like, you know, so I honestly like that might have been my introduction to battle rap, even because I feel like the first time I ever seen battles on TV might have actually been 106 when I was younger. So definitely like, yeah, 106 in Park was like super important, you know what I mean? Because in Canada we have what's called Much Music, for those of you in the States who don't know, which is like, you know, it's kind of like a mixed bag, you know what I mean? So you're only really gonna get like the top hip hop artists on there, and sometimes they'll throw in some like local ones once in a while, like your Cardinal Officials and like a few others, at least back then. So I feel like, you know, yeah, 106 was really like it, you know, in terms of like accessing only like black culture. Because like at most on Much Music you'd get like, you know, whatever top Eminem song was popping, or like maybe Dre, Snoop, like some of the big names. But outside of that, like we didn't really have access to that outside of BET in a lot of ways. So and the TV shows, like a lot of the sitcoms, like I used to watch I remember, do you remember like it was like a 5 to 6 year span where like the Wayans brothers was on all the time? Like I don't know if you remember this, and the Jamie Foxx show, a few other shows as well, but I used to watch that like religiously. So definitely like very influential for me, goes without saying, especially being a hip-hop artist that lives in Canada. Like obviously being exposed to hip-hop like before YouTube, before all these things, a lot of that came through like 106s and BET. So yeah, 100%, man.
How about you?
Yeah, no, for real. I would say it's the same. It's the same for me. I would say, you know, as a kid, especially during that time, I find like for me personally, when I was listening to a lot of hip hop at that young age, I was a fan of more of the song as opposed to the artist. So 106 in Park, I think, helped me put faces on a lot of these artists that I didn't even realize as a kid who was who, you know what I mean? So I was just like, yo, and it felt like you could see anybody on 106 in Park. It wasn't a situation where some of the top industry people, some of the top hip hop artists weren't scared to go on the show because they were trying to be too cool, or you know what I mean? We already seen 50 Cent, Kanye West. We already seen so many moments, Lil Wayne and Birdman, some controversial moments too, right? We've seen it all, you know what I mean, on 106 in Park. And honestly, I think like that, I think you had asked, or you were wondering if that could be replicated now again. I feel like it probably can't, just mainly because the attention to detail in terms of the music and the music videos itself. I feel like that art is gone. You know, people would rather have podcasts now talking about just the streaming numbers. And we're not even talking about the arts or the artists themselves, or actually getting them in a room because the artists care to speak on their music and stuff. So I feel like that era is unfortunately gone, but I feel like it was a very good time, especially during the time that it premiered. I think 106 in Park was what, late 90s, right? Or was it early 2000s, like late 90s?
It was in the 2000s. I think around like early 2000s with AJ.
Okay. So like they had what, a good probably what 10-11 year run at least, probably, if I'm remembering correctly. There's just so many hip-hop moments, right? And a lot of them stem from there. And then just even them just playing music videos on repeat, having a certain premiere for music videos, this is where we would go. So it was like that avenue before YouTube and things could connect all the music genres together. So, you know, it definitely was important and pivotal in the childhood for sure.
Yeah, man. Like when I sit back and I think about it, like if it wasn't for 106, I have no idea. Like I'd probably be sitting there watching Much Music. And when you think about Much Music, that's technically an example of like monoculture in a sense. Like they're putting it on display for everybody. You're getting the rap, you're getting R&B, you're getting rock, you're getting like pop, country.
Yeah.
You're getting a plethora of other genres all on this one station. And yeah, like it did expose us to some songs. But we would never hear none of the songs that we heard on 106, like songs from the Midwest, down south, from LA, Atlanta, Memphis. We wouldn't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's very pivotal. And when I look back at this name that's attached to it, Stephen Hill, like that's not the only thing he did. He also did the production for the BET Awards.
Okay.
So think about all the moments within the BET Awards that happened before it went to Ish. Right?
Before it was
crazy. You know, like when I look back at these things, I'm just like, what if it wasn't there? That's my main thing. What if it wasn't there? What would I be watching? That's one thing I always think about. So I really got to give my thanks. And mind you, those are not the only ones. Like, I believe he did MTV's Spring Bake. So he was requested to do the spring. Like, if y'all remember, like the Spring Bake when they're on the beach with the stage, not Spring Bling. Spring Bling was BET.
Yeah.
Spring Break was like I wouldn't say like the white version, but like it's definitely like the watered down version that's like more like suitable for an overall audience.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely like the fact that you called this individual that did these two major things in hip hop to do this, like
massive,
bro. Our palette is kind of full right now because we have nothing but good quality places to find music. That's not easy. Especially today.
Yeah.
Also, I looked it up. It started September 11th, 2000.
That's so crazy.
Like literally, like the beginning of the millennium was like
right. Think about it though. Like you just started school about a week in. The next week, September 11th, 106 in Park.
Yeah,
and it's on after school.
Mud. Mud. That was a time, man.
Different.
Didn't even appreciate it as much as I should.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually crazy. Like I have to give my thanks, bro, because if it wasn't there, I'd probably be outside.
Things would be different.
And you know, outside back then was a little different than today. So,
glad we weren't outside.
Now don't say that.
Hey man, we're here, bro. We're here, man. You know it, man.
We're alive.
We're alive. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
It's crazy.
So before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, we got King Hammer here.
Shout out.
Yo.
What's happening, everybody? Y'all already know what it is. Ace up your sleeve, the hip hop enthusiast, all that. I am currently getting wrecked by this desk here because I already messed up one specific spot, but I did come in to check in and make sure that everybody was good. Don't worry, I'm going to be tapping in left and right. But the topic y'all are talking about is millennial trauma, because I can definitely talk about that. Because think about it. Our whole upbringing has been terror, literal terror. We literally went through, like, as soon as we were born, oh, Y2K. Okay, what's this about? Y'all sending missiles, satellites? What are we talking about? What kind of? Ooh, y'all lucky I ain't gonna curse. I'm doing my best not to. But at the end of the day, we went through what? Y2K, then 9/11, anthrax. I know y'all remember that word. What else? We had to sit there in fear of Osama bin Laden for about 7 years until Obama killed him. And then what else?
Allegedly.
Yo, bro.
Allegedly.
Put an emphasis on that one.
86 Osama. All right. So then we have what? 2012. That was when I said, you know what? Forget college. We about to die.
Yeah.
I'm about to go have fun.
It gonna turn out.
Man, listen, them streets knew my name. I was King. I was just Hammer out in Baltimore. No, I became King Hammer in 2012.
Yeah, so you became King Hammer.
Yeah, 2012 was the day I declared King Hammer.
Man, what were you flinging? Grease cups? Like
that was the origin.
Bro, let me tell you, it was havoc in them streets, and all year 2012, I was unchained. Like it was bad. Trust me. But then after that, it was immediate recession and inflation going on, hip hop being dry. Not really much going on except for get a good job, earn a degree, or get a trade just to survive. And us millennials, we've been struggling because everybody's been trying to 86 us for the last 30 plus years. And they're making it hard on us to even live. Get out of here, boy. I'm doing something.
Don't even try.
So,
yo, bro, I'm drinking, fam. Relax.
No, so he looked at me and was like this. Yeah, you too. But no, like being a millennial in this day and age, anybody that's 33 and under in the chat, y'all can probably agree that in this day and age, we can hardly survive because we have not been given a place or a leg up on this chessboard. That's why some people play spades instead of chess, because once you realize all you have to do is stay a step ahead, you'll never be a mile behind. So that's just my message for right now. I definitely am getting to it. This is kicking my keister, but
I hate these desks.
Look nice though.
No, my lady got it for me as a gift, so I'm definitely putting some pride into it. But make sure everybody hits that like in the chat. I'm gonna be back as soon as this thing is done because I'm determined right now. I got about give me about 15. I'm gonna be back on. I'm gonna have the whole setup. I have my setup literally ready on my bed.
Shout out.
All I gotta do is just get it right, and I promise you, King Hammer will return tonight, and I'll be right here, only on the Flex Your Mind Network.
Jeez,
let's go.
That's clean. I like that.
Oh, you already know.
Come on,
you already know. I'm always gonna show up for my boy Flex. I'm gonna always show up. What's up, my guys? Oh yeah, it's
gang right there.
Y'all over here. What up, gang? What's up, Mike? What's up, man? What's happening?
Yes, sir. That's love. Appreciate it.
But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be tapping in on the chat, making sure that people are hitting the like button and everything. But no, I'm gonna be back in a minute. Just give me a second.
All right, man.
Good luck.
You already know I'm gonna be here.
Shout out.
Yes, sir.
Much love.
You already know. Funny enough that we got a message like what was he saying about spades? Like no matter how'd that go again? Because I like that.
I don't remember it off top, but I remember like the essence of it, but I don't remember like word for word.
You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what life throws you, you got to stay like ahead of it in a sense.
Some one step forward, a mile.
You gotta stay one step ahead, or else you get
left
a mile behind.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold on to that because I like that. So as we continue with the conversation, just think about every like imagine like, and it's not just us. We're Canadian, mind you. All three of us here are Canadian. Just imagine the life in America because we're watching from a window while y'all be doing y'all thing. Right up here, it's different. That's the reality with it when it comes from America to Canada. But don't get it twisted. The same way how we sat down and watched these shows and we're soaking up the culture, we're actually doing our own thing out here while learning from y'all. You know, so when I look at all these different shows that we have, when I look at all these different all these moments, They need to be celebrated more, especially in today's day and age, because we got tablets, we got phones, Netflix, YouTube, Snapchat, like all these different like platforms, applications that has minimized everything, right? Everything that's we've taken in from the early 2000s has been minimized severely.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these shows will not work anymore. No matter how hard you try. I sat back and said, okay, what if we put this on Netflix and then have it like a live show? Man, that ain't gonna work. Who's gonna watch? That's the thing. Because
it's tough.
you're gonna try and target like the same audience again with the younger generation. It's not gonna work because everybody else is on TikTok, or they're just outside doing some God knows what. The times have changed. How do you adjust? Right? So when I look at those television programmings and I look at the artists, the different artists that we've gotten, think about all the labels that they came from. Think about all these places that they call their home. When you have all these like different like artists, when you look at a Tank, for example, when you look at Joe, if everyone's familiar with the R&B singer Joe, right? These individuals, not just R&B, rap as well, came from boutique labels. Now, a lot of people don't know what a boutique label is, but basically what a boutique label is pretty much a label run by Black people. You know, and today that's rare. You know, we got pglang, we got TDE, but after
and
that,
there's still subsidiaries technically too.
Exactly, but after that, there's not much left.
What, Dreamville?
Yeah, you can throw Dreamville.
Also
in
a
there.
subsidiary. Yeah,
they're never gonna be on their own. Yeah.
But like, think about it. Like back then, there was hundreds. There was hundreds of these labels all over the place. Now there might have been too many, which is probably why they're damn near all gone. But look at what it delivered. It delivered quality music, and mind you, the time period was more focused on authenticity than to give you a viral artist.
Right? More
So
about like talent. Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. So I want to turn it to a NK first, because I just want to get your thoughts on like the whole boutique label like structure.
Yeah, I think that trend is like it was very like it wasn't surprising in the sense that like I feel like even the music industry as a whole had a similar trend of like, you know, when something starts, you know, a bunch of different people are trying to like, you know, figure it out. So it's like, you know, I feel like with hip hop and Black music even specifically, it was the same case, right? Even before like the 80s, you had like your Motowns, you had like, you know, all these different, you know, soul leaning, R&B leaning, R&B in the older sense, like rhythm and blues, you know, labels and things of that nature. And then unfortunately, like what tends to happen in most industries, you know, I'm gonna use the C word, under capitalism. In most industries, what happens is you start out with a bunch of people trying to like, you know, make money, but it's still really about like actually just making a product, right, for people to enjoy. And then what happens over time is monopolization, essentially. Once you know, economic crises happens, once you know, these bigger labels and these bigger you know, segments of the industry realize, yo, we can make bank off of this if we control it. Then what they start trying to do is buying off those smaller labels or buying off those smaller, you know, even in tech, this happens. Even in any industry you can think of, this trend happens, where, you know, a bunch of people start doing it, and then slowly over time, you get this pyramid that starts to build up. And now we're to the point where we are at now, where it's like everything's owned by like what? Atlantic, Universal, like, you know, like a couple labels realistically. And so because of that, a lot of independent artists are struggling even more than they used to. And the gap between smaller artists and bigger artists is now much bigger than it used to be as well. Like, you know, back then, like even a lot of these Texas artists or artists in the South, like a lot of them, like think about it, Texas population, I'm pretty sure it's like more than Canada's or some shit, right? Like something like that. Also, can I curse? My bad. My bad if I'm not supposed to.
No, you free, go ahead.
But like it's something like that. So it's like, so imagine if you had your a scene and you were popping in Texas however long ago, you could have just lived off that. You know what I mean? Sure, breaking out still helped them, right? When you had like the chopped and screwed movement and like, you know, the mid 2000s into the later 2000s a little bit, like it helped them, but they didn't really need it as much. You know what I mean? Like they could have technically just stayed in Texas and probably just lived off of it, right? A lot of these dudes are legends in those states or in those cities that they're from. So but we're seeing that less and less now. I feel like that trend is happening a lot less because now the industry is just controlled by these major corporations. But unfortunately, fortunately, back then, that's what gave us so much diversity too. Even if we're just talking hip hop, think about the 90s. You had Nas, you had a Tribe Called Quest, you had Queen Latifah, you had you know, you still had your NWAs, you still had your Wu-Tangs, like so you had the hardcore stuff, conscious stuff, like everything was mixed up. As you get into the 2000s, what happens is, you know, they start to control it more, right? So we start to see that less and less. By the time we got to like 2005 to 2010, then the like gangster rap started to become more of the only thing, right? And I love gangster rap, so it's not even me trying to knock it. It's just trying to say that like the industry and and if we're being real, the white industry, which is like was larger than the black industry, started to realize like, look, like white people love this stuff, right? They love to see, you know, black people acting this way, right? And then because of that, then they started to absorb those things. They started to absorb those labels and absorb those artists more and more, and they started to control it. And this happened with BET too, even unfortunately, where I remember, Viacom bought it, and then basically, I remember. Does anyone know Little Brother, like the rap group Little Brother? It was like Ninth Wonder, Fonte, and Big Pooh. It's like a really big underground hip hop group. I remember when they were popping in like 05 to like 010ish, and I remember they were trying to get on BET, and then there was like a list that came out where it was basically a list that like was part of like the Viacom like BET like, you know, sphere, and it was basically a list of artists that they were like, we don't want these people on BET. And it was like Talib Kweli, Mos Def. It was like all these conscious rappers, basically a lot of underground rappers. It was like a big. I remember there was a conversation about this at the time. But it's wild, like, you know, that they consciously did this. Like it wasn't even just like, it's not a conspiracy. It's like they knew what they were doing. It was like, well, we think this makes more money, right? Because we're trying to market it more to a certain audience, and then that's what happened. And that's where we're at now, where it's like, you know, the most poppin' hip hop still to this day is that, you know, realistically. And then you might have your one-offs here and there. Like I feel like Kendrick is kind of a one-off, like, you know, a few one-offs here and there, but generally speaking, we know what it is. It's drill. It's still people still trying to drill and all this type of stuff. So all of that's connected to like the loss of that diversity in the industry and the labels. But anyways,
I agree. You said facts. I think it honestly, it is that, and it represents the lack of control I think we have in the sound and why it was designed that way. We obviously know why and what hip hop was founded on and what it originally stood for and what purpose it served, right? Outside of other purposes it can obviously serve. But the labels and the people who are in power of these countries and the institutions, I think they all work in tandem to say, okay, why would we let them continue to have control over their sound so that they can uplift their people? We can't let them do that, right? So no, we're going to fill the, I guess, artistry with debauchery, right? And that's what's always going to sell. And even if it wasn't that, it's always going to be what they dictate is what's going to sell, as opposed to us, the people who actually create the sound and the people who actually have ownership of the sound and should have final say. And this is where we are now. Where it was like back then, yes, I always believed they had somewhat influence over the music scene and the industry itself, especially label and business wise. But I think, like you said, back then we had all these boutique labels. We had more control, and I feel like we had more say, and it was just more easier for you to get situated in a position where, as a Black person, you could start your own label, you could have the funding and the resources to put on these specific artists, and artists that I think essentially care about the craft. Like, these people couldn't go on interviews now, right? Because they're just nowhere near as interesting as these artists that were coming out in the late 90s, early 2000s. They actually cared about what they were doing. And we had multiple subgenres that were actually genuine, as opposed to just, okay, it's this and that, and we're going to favor that. There's some way along the way, they just went full overdrive and said, you know what, we got it now. And this is what the sound is going to be until we kill the sound. And I feel like that's unfortunately where we're getting to. Granted, we had the battle, we had a lot of other, hopeful acts come out or release music that we know are going to be the beacon of hope for what is needed. But I think, like, as we're discussing this, it's kind of scary to see in 20, 25 years how much of a difference has been made, and how fast it's taken them to dilute the sound and take away from the craft. So, I don't know if maybe one day we get back to that position where we have more ownership, or what will it take to get there, right? But I think a lot of us just need to wake up to the point of what is going on with the control of the labels that they have, and figure out how we can create our individuality somehow, right, going forward. Maybe a long process, but I do have hope, because if anything has been proven, we are very influential, very purposeful, right, and we have a lot of power at what we say and do. So it is a lot, but doesn't mean it's impossible.
Facts.
I think the main word for this segment right here is the architecture behind these things, right? These things were built. These different boutique labels were built. The changes that happened within the industry to shift from this side to this side was built, right? They looked at the blueprint for the structure and said, okay, this is how it works. Now do it this way because it sells more.
Like that.
You see what I'm saying? So, and of course, y'all heard me talk about it all the time on this channel. The reason why these changes happen, I'm gonna walk this one down. So think about it. Early 2000s, the music that we were making here, it was running all over North America, even going down to some parts of South America. Right? Just think about the different regions that delivered us quality sounds, and how all of that came up to Canada through the different television programmings, whether it's a 106, a BET award, hip hop awards, a basement with Big Tigger, and etc. Right? But because it's running all over North America, they kind of cap themselves. They put a cap on how high they can go with this, because the international part back then, it was tough, because things would either have to go on a VHS tape or a DVD tape, and then you mail it overseas, right? Maybe you can email it, but maybe you can email a picture. You know what I'm saying? But back then, to bring that overseas, it was tough. So at that point, they had to look towards, how can we market this over these oceans to this side of the planet, so we can continue to grow this. And because we didn't have access to that, that's why those deals were made. We had access to the production, the sound, producers, the artists, and anybody else, the managers that goes into that. But the marketing was missing back then, which is why we had to turn over here and say, we need your help. And as they helped, they learned. And when they learned, they said, okay, we can take it from here. And going back to NK's point, where they had a list of people that shouldn't be here, you slowly start to see some names disappear over time.
Yeah.
And then they introduce new names. Right? But they're still finding talent back then. But it got to a point where they didn't want to look anymore and said, let's make them.
Yeah. We're going to create them.
Make these individuals. Let's make these people. Let's make this character. And then we're going to feed it to the consumer. Right? So The only part where it's our fault is that we didn't have that knowledge and what we needed the most, which was the marketing to help push this thing everywhere. Right? Think about how influential these different, like just the sound, the shows, everything. Think about what In Living Color did to the NFL before they had their Super Bowl halftime show. And then they had to run and get Michael Jackson.
Yep. That's the whole reason.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Just think about that. But we didn't have that reach. We had everything else but the reach. So that's why we had to look over here. And that's why all these dominoes started to fall in place. But not in our favor. Right? And that's crazy. But that's the timeline towards this.
That's a good point you're making too, because I think it speaks to how, like, on some level, like, is partially our fault too, you know, even as Black people, because I think, like, unfortunately for a lot of these, you know, because, like, let's be real, like, those labels that, you know, stopped existing, a lot of them, you know, got bought out, right? Someone like a major label came to them and was like, okay, we're gonna buy all your catalog or whatever it is, and the bag was too good, and then they were like, sure. You know what I mean? And then, but then one person does it, 15 people start to do it, and then that's how you get to where we're at now, which I think speaks to, like, that's the issue when it comes to, you know, this world we live in, where it's like, because money rules all, it's like, well, you know, then when someone sees that bag, then unfortunately now it's like, oh, well, you know, now you got to balance between the culture and making money. Unfortunately, if too many people are willing to make the money over the culture, then now the culture falls down. And then what they don't even realize is, in the long term, now even the money is starting to get messed up because of that. But here we are, you know,
short-term thinking.
Bro, the money's dirty. Keep it tall with you. The money dirty now, bro. 2026, that money ain't clean. And I'm not talking like physically. I'm just talking about from a perspective, just talking just like as an example. Like, this is what the money looks like. This money is not like, it wasn't printed well. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can still use it, but it's like, it's been altered.
That ain't it.
You know, this ain't what it's supposed to look like. See, one thing about when we look at the culture, we gotta be critical. But through being critical, that's also showing love, because these are tidbits. Like, we're displaying the errors to be corrected one day. But just like in the first episode, like I said, if we continue the same habits that we displayed way back when, we are doomed to repeat what we went through. Right? Going to King Hammer's point, like, you got to think a couple steps ahead. Because if not, who knows what's going to happen? Like, the future is a little rocky for hip hop right now.
You know, they're thinking 10 steps ahead. All right. Sure.
Yeah.
So we gotta, like, match up and get ahead of them. If anything, we're not even, like, thinking the 10 steps. They're like, yeah, we'll dangle this money in front of you.
We're thinking of 2 seconds ahead. That's the problem.
It's like, right now, I need this bread right now. I can sell my catalog. They'll own me, but, like, I'll get, like, a good payout now. But what about 3-4 years from now, or when your music stops selling? Right? Well, what happens? Like, we got to factor in all those things.
Because that's the thing. It's like, people aren't even thinking. If someone is coming to you to buy something, what should that tell you? That you have something valuable.
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
and like, simple. Like, if someone's coming to you, if I go to Best Buy looking for something, I know they have something I want, and I know I can benefit from that thing. So me as an individual person, or as a label owner, whatever it is, someone comes to you like, yo, here's like 50 mil, you know, for your whole catalog, whatever it is, you should know what you have then is worth way more than that.
Even more than that. Yeah. They're
way
not
more than that, realistically.
Yeah.
And that goes even for artists too, on an individual level, as an artist, even. Like, you know, if a label comes to you talking about, oh, here's this advance, you know what I mean, for this amount, you should know okay, if they're giving me, you know, $200K or $1 million, then I must be worth 10 times that. But
or 6 figures.
exactly.
Right?
That's why.
Yo. You know what I'm alluding to.
Yeah, we know. the three of us right here know. It's okay. But the perfect word to bring us back into this the celebration is the value behind everything we do, because the one constant thing that is always shown throughout this whole time was the value in the music. Right? Not how much, but what this music is worth. When you make good quality music, when you have a good quality sound, that's value that you have right there.
Sure.
All you got to do is just build on this. And then, of course, you know, in terms of like branding and everything, the characterization, the marketing, all that, all those things come into play. But just the value that you have, that this sound can deliver to people, because the sound is what changes hearts. It's not the lyrics. The lyrics helps us follow. It's the sound that's going to attract. Right? So today's day and age, like, there's hope. Thank God we're going through a shift. Yeah. Thank God for the battle.
Direly needed. Yeah.
You know,
long overdue.
I'm pretty sure I explained it before, but music changes every 10 or so years, technically 5 to 10. But to give a healthy number, 10 years, every decade, there's a shift in a sound.
God damn, I forgot to mute.
But think about it, from the 2010s till today, we are just shifting. We're long overdue.
That is crazy.
We are long overdue. What happened?
15 joints? Like, that's kind of crazy.
Really stagnant right there, man.
16.
Well, I think there's a lot of factors, and we've discussed many of them over time too.
Yeah,
channels and off the channels. Like, there's so much to it, but like it's the value that still like speaks the loudest, no matter what. Even when it seems like the genre is at its lowest, is like we know the potential is there, you know.
But that just goes to show you the hands that were holding on to this. They didn't know what they were doing.
They had no damn clue.
They knew they were making money in the short term. That's it.
They seen dollar signs and exploitation. And that was it for them.
Right? The same revenue charts, the same values that they have. As long as that increases, they don't care what's happening. Right? That's a dark reality behind all of this. They're not going to care unless this brings money, unless this brings in profit. They want to see their gross amount and net amount high as hell. And if it's not high as hell, they're going to question it, regardless if it is reviewed very well or not. Just think about that. These are the wrong hands to even be placed onto what we got. You know?
Awesome.
But like I said, we have hope, because look at the music that we've been getting recently. The music that we've been getting recently has been so much better than what we've gotten in the past, like 5 years at least. That's crazy to me.
February alone.
Right? At this point, we can take a little break and then start talking about Casino. You know? Because Casino is on theme for what we got here right now. Just, I forgot to get my camcorder, but y'all saw it already. Y'all saw the camcorder already. When Baby Keem dropped the Booman documentary series 1, 2, and 3, I felt like that reconnected me to all of this. If I'm going to be super honest with you guys, if I'm going to be so real with you, that documentary brought me back down and said, okay, so this is what it looks like now. This is what it takes to market and promote. This is what it looks like when it's successful. right? And then attaching that with the album. No wonder there's so many people out there with positive things to say about it. Healthy project, not too long. Some say it's a little short. They wanted more. But that greed is used in a positive way. You see what I'm saying? But I want to go ahead and get I want to get your thoughts, like Walker, before I get my thoughts. So just let me know what you think about the Casino album.
I gave this album a 9 out of 10. I think when we're comparing certain rappers, because of the narrative now became, oh, Keem's not better than Jid, Keem's not better than Cole, Keem's not better than this and that. I'm like, no. There's so many subgenres of hip hop now. The way I rank artists and albums is are you doing the best that you can do at what you can do? So Keem does something different compared to a Jid and a J. Cole. And granted, in my opinion, I think they did their own thing very well, but Keem excelled even more than what I anticipated or at least wanted for this album in terms of the sound, lyrical capability, the sonically pleasing aspect of it, the story, the rollout, all those things in conjunction. To me, I think he outdid Melodic Blue, even though I really love the Melodic Blue. I think this Casino album, he already kind of cemented himself in a legendary status among the new class just by making a Mr. Morale as his second project. This is essentially his Mr. Morale. I find it. It's just unbelievable that he was able to do that. And I shouldn't say unbelievable, but it's just like, wow, like this is your sophomore project and you're coming in with some heat like this. We know why you're away for so long. I doubt you're going to be away that long again. So imagine what he follows up with now going forward. You know what I'm saying? And, I think just all around, I have a lot of standouts from the whole album. It is short. I wish it would have been just a little longer just because I really love the album so much. But like Casino, the title track, crazy banger. Birds and the Bees, crazy banger. Good Flirts, come on. You already know what it is. Right? Like this is the 1, 2, 3. And then what's after that? Is it House Money? Bro, what are we talking about, man? And after that, I Am Not a Lyricist. Bro, listen to these songs. I looked at it, I'm like, yo, I did like J. Cole's album. I did. I said it on the channel before. Was I this excited listening to the album? Definitely not, which is why I give it a higher rating. I still think J. Cole did what he did. And, lyrically, he's outstanding, obviously. But Keem, like I said, when I rank these albums, I rank them based on what they are supposed to do with their music and if they did it well enough. Keem excelled. That's why I'm still replaying this album. So it's a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm trying to get tickets to that tour. And imagine this album in a stadium setting. If he does do a stadium like environment sometime soon, oh my gosh, bro, it's a wrap. pglang, man.
Hey, what you got, NK? Your honest thoughts about?
Well, you already know, man. I'm gonna be the villain today, right?
Jeez.
Here, I don't think the album is bad, right? My only thing for me is just that I'm just not big on Keem. Like it's like when I listen to his music, it's just like I feel like it doesn't hit me that much. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's talented. Like I feel like he can rap and he's doing a good job at what he does for the people that like what he does. But for me, it's just not like for me in a sense. I think part of it is like his vocal tone or pitch just like doesn't hit me the way I would like it to. But that's like I feel like there's a difference though between like thinking something is whack versus thinking something is like, it's just not for you, or like it just doesn't click for you. You know what I mean? Whereas like I feel like there's other artists like, obviously like a Kendrick, like that does it for me. You know what I mean? Or like other artists that it hits me in that certain way. But there's always gonna be artists where it's like you're like, yeah, like I like I feel like even like a Cole, perfect example, where it's like with Cole, I feel like Cole can rap, like that goes without saying. But when I listen to Cole, it does nothing for me. like I'll be like for Cole, it's even forget about Keem. For Cole, it's even worse. Like for Cole, it's like I'm like, bro, like I'm like tapping my like, bro, like it's just not hitting. But he can rap, and so I respect it if someone. If they like that album, they like that song by that person, I completely respect it. I just feel like I don't know what it is with Keem. I feel like for me, I'm a bit of like it's funny because you mentioned that I'm not a lyricist joint, but like but like for me, I don't know, I just like bars in a certain type of way, and I feel like he doesn't do that for me, you know what I mean? But I also listen to a lot of like abstract shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm a big MF Doom fan. Like I listen to like Lupe, like even some of his later stuff even. So because of that, like I feel like I like a lot of that cerebral, you know, type of shit, and I feel like that doesn't hit it for me, you know, but I respect it, and I think he can rap like well, you know. So
that's real.
No, that's real, bro. Real honest thoughts.
mm-hmm.
You know, we need that more often. Like I said, if we continue to follow the same things that we've done in the past, we're doomed to recreate like everything that went wrong. So being critical matters. You know, to sit down and say, okay, so maybe that wasn't your best. For me, at least, you know.
For me, yeah.
Right. So I accept that. You think I'm going to sit here and disrespect you in any kind of way? I'm going to joke around. I'm a tease.
Yes.
You know, that's just in my character, is what I do. But I'm not going to be like serious with it. I'm be like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm not going to do that. Like,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But
someone in the chat said that sounded a bit backhanded compliment, but hey, to each his own. But like here's my thing though. How though? How is that backhanded? You know? How is that backhanded? If it just wasn't for me as an individual, how is that backhanded? Right? You don't have to like what I like.
You gave an
like because here's the thing. I could be like, oh, like here's one of my favorite albums and name some random, you know, food and liquor or like whatever, right? And there's someone out there that loves hip hop, like to the T. They listen to like Rakim or something, and they don't like that album, right? Who am I to be like, yo, you're not a true hip hop fan, or that's like a diss, or that's like, you know, it's like, no, you're just not into that album or even that artist, and that's okay. But I have enough, like, but for me as an individual, like I can hear someone say that about my favorite album and be like, okay, I respect that. But I'm still gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think it's backhanded. I think he's talented, but someone's talented doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. There's people that are really talented at playing metal guitar, but I'm not trying to listen to that. You know what I mean? So, but I respect it though. You know, I think
just not for you.
Yeah.
At least you're able to address that though, because you know some people will hide that behind. Oh, it's trash, this and that. Like you're able to say, you're able to say what it is. Like, I'm already feeling it, you know. But I see why
it's my subjective opinion. Yeah,
and that's all it is, you know.
Yeah,
and that's what, like Flex said, we need in this community, in this right. Like we're gonna not have the same album, same favorite tracks or whatever it may be. We respect everybody's opinion, you know. And that's what's up.
1,000.
So it's safe to say that my reactions and reviews are pretty much on the internet. For anybody that's seen me go through the Booman documentary, that watched me listen to the album like twice, I went live twice. That already says enough. Okay, but like when you see me say, hold on, I'll be right back, I got a treat for y'all, and then I come back with my photo album filled with baby pictures. No, this album's hitting different for me, bro. This album is putting me in a moment of time. It's more than just reminiscing, to relive these moments. I'm seeing them on the documentary. I'm seeing similar moments that I've had through pictures. Unfortunately, the camcorder, like, that's not work anymore, and there's none of the tapes are there. Like the tapes are pretty much gone. They probably got thrown out by accident, but just to have that treasure of memories, that alone, you're putting me in a state to be ready for this journey. This is more than an album at this point for me. This is like I'm reliving parts of my childhood, or I'm reliving parts of my childhood while looking at my friend from down the street when I was young. Because that's what Booman looked like. He looked like one of my friends that I knew on the streets.
But yeah, them times.
Like a neighbor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like the similar parts when talking about, oh, make sure y'all turn off the lights because we got a light bill. I'm like, oh my God. Like that hits.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I remember I said like I had childhood here in Canada, but at the same time in Jamaica. Because we went back and forth from Canada and Jamaica a lot because we had a lot of family over in Jamaica too. You know, both my parents were from Jamaica, so I see my dad's side and I would see my mom's side. And then like going through the Booman documentary, I'm remembering different moments from when I was like all the way like to like desk height of me climbing rocks and then attempting to climb a tree.
Them times.
You know, crying for no reason. How the hell I remember myself crying? That's blasphemy. I'm not supposed to remember that.
I don't remember that.
You know, but like it's putting me in this place to say, okay, so this is what it feels like to see this again. Now we go into the listening party, which mind you, I had no idea was a concert.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, like when y'all sell tickets? You know, I might have pulled up. That's a lie. That's the point. Like
Bro, like what?
Bro, the lights came on. I seen an audience. I'm like, what do you mean there's an audience?
This is some Kanye type shit. I was
you
like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy.
Sure.
It's crazy to me. And then as you're going through the songs, me personally, each song was like a representation of some energy when I was young.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, like your energy's all over the place. You're hyper and then you're tired and you chill. And then like you're content. Like each song was like a representation of like, okay, so this is what I was doing when my heart was beating at this BPM to link it back to the songs. Right? When I see Casino, I'm running around playing soccer. That's what that felt like. Birds and the Bees.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? You're probably walking around with friends down a dirt road. You know, Good Flirts. You're chilling with a lot of girls around. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's for the girl them. Yes.
But House Money, it might be something like maybe like some conflict.
Walking in the party.
You know, I'm not a lyricist. You're sitting down with yourself.
Come on.
Like, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you keep going. You keep going through Circus Freestyle. You're popping your ish.
Ooh.
You're popping your ish. You're trying to be on some, you know, you're trying to be that guy.
Sex appeal.
You see, you flirting at that point.
Come on, at that point now, I ain't even hiding it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hide that.
I'm 3-stepping in the club, bro. Are you crazy?
You know?
Holy.
But then you have Dramatic Girl. That's probably you and your friends going on an adventure somewhere. And then you have No Blame.
Nice.
There's probably an argument in the house. So much turmoil. It's erupting. You see what I'm saying? This album is different because of that simple connection that I got from the documentary.
That helped it a lot for sure. It definitely.
That's good marketing for sure. Yeah.
I think it's just genius because it's what Keem probably had to do for his second album, especially being away so long. But again, like I was just kind of thrown off by, I shouldn't say thrown off, but I was just kind of surprised by how deep it really was. You know, like it's not that I never thought he didn't have the capability to do that. I think I always did for sure. But it's just like you just prove that balance that we need back again in hip hop for artists, especially like you, that you can still make records that are fun, but still have something to talk about. And I said it in one of my videos, I said it, when I say substance, that doesn't just mean you need to be the most lyrical guy, right? But just have something to talk about. There's a cohesive story with this album and the songs. And that right there gets my respect because we can turn up to these tracks and also be thinking at the same time. And you don't need to be doing too much thinking because Keem was never that artist anyways, right? But it's the fact that he's talking about something. It ain't the same BS. It ain't the same subject matter. Well, artists like Keem make music like that, I think the genre will be in a better place as well because we already know we got the other artists on the other side overcompensating for the lack of substance. too, right? So if we get to a place where it's both, hip hop, I think will have a nice, I guess, sound all around again. You know what I mean? Because the artists actually care about what they're talking about. So that's why I think I really have it on high regards to me personally, you know?
Respects.
Yeah.
Cole album wasn't fun.
Anyway. But like, so watch like God. Everything we're talking about with the Keem album, like the storytelling.
That's the big thing right there.
We're in a day and age when the storytelling matters.
Yeah.
Do something with this project.
That's it.
Right? We have so many different people out there that are not following these requirements, these little boxes you should be checking. Y'all said, screw this paper, let's just do this. And now you got a compilation album with a whole bunch of nonsense. You might have a couple bangers, but don't expect that to fly because we just were given a project that's it displayed longevity. I'm going to be listening to the Keem album for a long time. I'm going to be continuing to go back to it for a long time. That album is here to stay. And then a side note with the album, like the range with his voice, those are potential projects right there. Each voice could be a potential project. If anybody peeped that, he put on a full display of what he could do. It's almost like he's introducing y'all. Okay, so this might be a story, but within this story can go this way. This story can go this way. This story can go this way. You see what I'm saying? Like the possibilities that can come in future projects is damn near endless. Right? But going back to storytelling, like at this point, we're going to be talking about like management, branding, marketing, while still staying on topic of Black excellence, because now I'm going to get into another name that I think we should display. And it's honestly, this is a regular individual, but he just has a lot of power behind the scenes. But we would never know that because that's not where we're looking. But me personally, I want to give these shout outs because these are still brothers and sisters behind the scenes that's working to help with the culture. That name is Vincent Herbert. Like I said, regular guy, nothing crazy, nothing special. But at the same time, the things that he's given us, the things that he's delivered, he said out of his mouth himself on the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine that he went into a barbershop one day and literally saw Joe just sweeping up hair on the ground. And he heard him sing and said, I want you to come into the studio. I want to see what you can do. And then we got Joe. An individual, regular guy going around finding talent. He's giving us these different artists, putting them to work, saying, okay, let's figure you out. Let's see where you're branding, what we can brand you as. Let's see how we can push you to as many places as we can around America or North America. You know, let's see how far we can sell these CDs. There's nothing really special attached to the name, but once you start to go through the accolades of all the other artists that they've given us, then we're going to start to build a chart with like, okay, now I'm intrigued. What more have you done? And he has a whole 2 hour or so interview on R&B Money podcast. And I sat there watching it about 3 times. Usually when I'm here at night and I'm like, I'm either writing or doing something, I have these different podcasts and these different videos on so I can soak up knowledge. When we're talking about storytelling, it makes me think about these different managers. Because before, or actually not before, but after them in the 2010s, what the hell were these managers doing? Like when you think, remember, we already talked about the 2010s not too long ago, like a couple minutes ago. We told y'all how bad it was. What were they doing? What was behind the scenes looking like? Remember when I said they had their hands on this, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing? What were they doing? And because they didn't know what they're doing, look at the destruction that they brought about the culture.
Yep. Paid the price.
Yep.
The reason why I'm saying these names is not just to celebrate this individual, but it's an example of all the other people out there that's doing the same work that we don't know. Because these are the same people that helped shape the music that we've been getting all these years. Which is why they should be celebrated, which is why they're considered Black excellence. You see what I'm saying?
Agree.
That's why I wanted to take this specifically into a different lane, because we can easily sit here and talk about anybody that has a big name in Black history and Black culture. But I feel like to myself, I'm doing a disservice by not mentioning these other individuals that are just regular everyday individuals. But look what they gave us. And mind you, L.A. Reid and Vincent Herbert, they didn't just give us Black artists. They gave us white artists too that we kind of liked at the time. Right? For anybody that's familiar with Pink, that artist from way back, L.A. Reid was the one that pushed her.
She was making R&B. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
She transitioned.
That was the reason why L.A. Reid was pushing her to do R&B.
They're like, no, let's do the pop lane.
Yeah, they didn't just deal with R&B, rap. They dealt with pop. They dealt with a plethora of genres and broke major artists. Vincent Herbert. Now I know Lady Gaga doesn't look the greatest nowadays, but when she first came out and she had songs like Just Dance, Poker Face on that one album, that's Vincent Herbert before they went their separate ways, and then whoever took over pushed her to do that. But at the end of the day, Vincent Herbert brought us Lady Gaga. Well, not necessarily us specifically, but he brought the world Lady Gaga, and that's a $1 billion artist. But not like that's how much money she has, but that's how much she's brought for this company through this Black man. That's different to me.
Some next shit.
That may not be major information to a lot of people, but to me personally, I'm like, why don't we have more of him?
That's control.
It's not structured that way anymore. Yeah.
The managers became handlers. Right? And enablers. You know? They're not there.
I'm telling you.
And in some instances they're phased out completely, because even when we talk about like A&Rs, right? Like that's it's like not really a thing in the way it was before, before like you're talking about, he saw Joe, sweeping, and like that shit doesn't happen anymore, bro. Like in terms of just like people, like even when you hear about like people like even like an Eminem or like certain rappers, or I think even Big Sean came up similarly, where like I think he saw Kanye somewhere and then try to like push his tape, and then you know what like them type stories like it's like almost non-existent these days, like now like people don't have time for you. Labels don't even have time for artists. Most artists don't even know this. Most labels have somewhere either on their website or mailing address where you can send your music to them. Don't do that. They're just gonna steal. You're just gonna steal your stuff.
You like literally, it'd be like a Fifi Dobson situation. You know what I'm saying? Where like, and mind you, Fifi Dobson is like, she's a rock artist here in Canada. But the way they snaked her they took her songs, then they gave it to Miley Cyrus. And they gave it to Selena Gomez. And then brushed her off this way, which is why that going back to the point where some artists start to disappear.
Facts.
Fifi Dobson is one of those artists.
A lot of theft, a lot of stealing.
Right?
That's what put a hamper on it.
And the funny thing is, going back to like the Joe point where like Vincent Herbert, he found in a barbershop, yo, do you understand how many artists are out there that are like doing something similar? Mind you, in Toronto alone, all over the city, but there's no A&Rs.
There's none whatsoever.
None, dog. Zilch. Man, zilch.
And
if there is an A&R, they're only looking for their friends.
1,000.
Yep. And a certain type of sound. Right. Like this.
Or they're just looking for who's already viral.
That too. Who got the clout. It's not actually trying to find people with effort.
Talent, yeah.
What's that? I don't know what talent is. Welcome to Toronto, but it's the same issue, right? All over in their own way, like you said too, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, but it is a particular beast here, but true, it's like that everywhere. 100%.
If we're gonna talk culture, we also got to talk the diasporas. You know, it's mandatory, damn near. Not even just around here in Toronto, but worldwide,
globally. Yeah.
Right. What would the world look like if Sean Paul never existed?
That'd be weird, man.
Man, his sound would be so different. And it's only when you think about it like that when you realize if you just eliminate these certain individuals from the equation, things would sound different. There would be a different.
Very different.
It's crazy.
Funny enough, they use Sean Paul the bridge the genre over. But even though he was the bridge, at the same time, he was damn near leading.
It's a staple.
What if that bridge never existed?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
The way where it is, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the sound of the genre wouldn't be where it is now. We probably wouldn't even have certain opportunities because
you might not even have the genre.
What I'm saying? It'd still be a niche thing, right? Like I'm not gonna put money into that. There's no really hope there. There's no hits, right? But that's not the case, obviously.
Yep.
That's crazy to me, bro. Because even like when you look at some parts of reggae, there's a lot of rap influence in there.
Of course.
Definitely.
A lot of people are not going to peep it because I'm not going to lie. You got to go a little bit back, like in the 80s, probably like 70s when it comes to reggae. But there's definitely a rap influence.
Yep.
I think in a weird way they influence each other.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Even with like Afro, like African music, same thing. Like it's like there's a weird like it's like one thing influences the other, and then it just like this weird like like
black people,
organism. Yeah, like it's actually great because actually that reminds me because I listen to like a lot of like really old African music and a lot of really old African music. There was like a Latin music boom, like in like the 60s or 70s or something. Yeah. So a lot of African music from like the 70s and stuff is heavily influenced by Latin music. But it's interesting because Latin music in and of itself, music from Latin America, is fundamentally like African in a lot of ways because, obviously they captured a lot of slaves, took them there. So a lot of those rhythms that now we consider like Spanish music from Latin America, a lot of it is heavily African influence, especially Cuban music, all that stuff. There's bare black people there. So it's interesting because it influenced it like that, but then it's like, then it's like it came back to Africa. And then so the same thing happens with what you're talking about with hip hop and Caribbean music and like, and obviously like even a lot of hip hop was deeply influenced by Caribbean music, even from the beginning, because a lot of the, KRS-One, Busta Rhymes, it's all these dudes, most of them have Caribbean background. So, that's what's so cool about, seeing it like happen like that on a global scale. It's really cool.
I agree with you, bro.
There's power behind the sound and legacy. Plain and
easy.
Simple. Plain and simple. Like that's what it is. And like a lot of times, some of these songs, like a lot of them, they didn't take that much time to make. If we're gonna be real, right? Compared to now, like somebody put out an album, it's mid, and it took them like what? Oh, it took me about like 4 years to put this together, or it took me like 10 years to really put this 2-disc project together. I'm really just trying to show, like, give y'all an experience, and this shit fall flat.
Facts.
That's Roddy.
And actually, speaking on the Keem thing, a point I wanted to make was I actually liked that it was short. Like for me personally, like an album, if it's like a nice 11, 12 songs, like I'm good. Like The second it hits like the 15, 16, and depending on the song lengths, obviously too, right?
Yeah.
That's a factor. However, that's actually one thing I liked about it was the fact that it wasn't like, overly long. And I feel like that's another thing, even with all the stuff we're talking about with black music and stuff, is like, I feel like we have to like value the music more, even in that regard. Is like, let's, it's like, if this is what we got and the person put their all into it, like, and you like it, then what more is there to it? Even if it's 8 songs, if it's 8 amazing songs, love it. You know what I mean? But that's my thoughts on that. But anyway, sorry, I don't want to go too far back, but it's a point I wanted to make before that I forgot to.
No, you good. You're good. And that's a valid point because that goes into the structure of albums nowadays. A lot of the albums we've been getting have been shortened.
Yes. And they're hidden.
Right?
Right.
Creating that repeat value. Do I want to hear this again? Do I want to go to this album again?
Facts.
Will I listen to this album in the next couple months? Plain and simple. We're reverting back to what we knew.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's what it looks like so far. We're going back to the basics of building and creating right now. That's what I'm witnessing with these different artists. Now, J. Cole, we didn't need a 2-disc, but if you
didn't need a double.
See? That's what pissed me off. That's what pissed me off.
I said,
like, no. I was like, no.
Oh my God, bro.
If you kept it as 1 disc,
it would have been much stronger. It would have been much stronger.
That's it. It's just like, sorry, so you're gonna say.
Yeah, J. Tom said, we didn't need 30. Yeah, facts.
30 mother FS on, bro. That's
we really
what
didn't.
I'm saying. And he had like some of these song lengths for 5-6 minutes.
I'm telling you, like, it's not even short. Like it's like unless you're like an outcast or something. Like, why are you doing that, bro? Like,
if I'm seeing, and this is what I said, Kenny did this shit smart. He didn't give us as much music as his other contemporaries. So if we're seeing 5-minute, 6-minute song lengths on a Kenny album, we're not gonna probably react the same way as with J. Cole. Just because
you're gonna get a movie.
He's blacking out. Yes, he's blacking out on the song.
It's a concept. There's a point for it being like that. Like,
that's what I'm here on the third song. There's 2 more songs next or whatever, and they're 5-6 minutes each. I'm here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, no, like I shouldn't feel like this. The rapping is really good, but it's like, this could have been 12 tracks. This could have been 14.
Easily, because half them shit sound the same. So
I'm saying. And you wasted a Future feature. I'm not gonna lie. Well, you know about Jermaine. Like, you know about my pitch. Like,
that was whack. That was whack. Nah, that was
whack. Do some crazy shit, my guy. Like, come on, bro. The same shit he did on the damn. What was it? We still don't trust you. The Red Leather. That shit was way better. That shit was way better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that
saying?
was not a good that was not a good Future feat.
What do you know about Jermaine? Like, like what? This is no way.
Nah, that shit was funny. Actually, I skipped that one because I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. I skipped it, bro. I was like, I can't listen to this, bro. There's done.
No way. And they're saying you guys are hated. There's no way there's a hate campaign on J. Cole. Hate campaign? You want to talk about hate campaigns,
bro? Right? Open your eardrums, fam.
Like, what do we do? Yo, sorry,
that's not Future. Like,
a man said 2 Future tracks. I said, okay, you should be getting something crazy here, right?
So,
we see what Kenny does with Future. Let's compare now.
Let me add this point to what you're saying now, because we know what Future sounds like. We all know what he sounds like. Pull up any song. March Madness, any song, I don't care.
DS2.
Yeah, but looking at these 2 Future features on a J. Cole project, I hate to break it to you, but them songs are not gonna get replayed like that, bro.
No.
And you want to know why? Future's dropping a project this year, and it sounds like old Future.
Yeah,
interesting.
Right. Yeah, 2016 all over again. Yeah.
So, whatever idea that you had, Future's gonna come back and remind people how to turn up.
Yes.
So instead of using Future the way you should have, I'm sorry, them songs are not gonna fly. So
I don't think he knew what to do with him. I think in his mind, part of it was shock value, because I think part of it is him trying to be like, oh, people aren't gonna expect this. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna do that, there has to be a mission. You know what I mean? Like there has to be like a goal. You have to know, okay, this track actually makes sense for this, you know? Because like even though he's kind of batshit now, Kanye was good at that. Like he could bring together 15 different people and just make it make sense somehow. You know what I mean? Cole is not that guy, in my opinion. Like he's a good rapper. He knows how to rap. In terms of like putting together albums like that, like it's just not it for me. But it is what it is.
All right, let's get back on topic now.
Fair.
Let's not get too far from the point. You know, like I know that album bothers our spirits,
but don't get me started, bro.
Let's stay on task. You know, so
don't get me started. But we're not even talking about what he was talking about, which is like that's gonna piss me off. But anyways, let's just
see, that's why I didn't want to bring it up. That's why I wanted to, you know. So we finished up with diasporas. At that point, I want to look at the pillars. I want to look at the different pillars of hip hop and how many pillars that we've added over the years.
Interesting,
right? There's many different pillars now. There's more than 4. There's more than 6. We're probably up like 10 or 11 or something. But that just goes and shows you the power of hip hop and how hip hop is like damn near like a natural algorithm to just the culture overall. Hip hop is a way of life. It's like you breathe it. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine you breathe and you're instantly lit. Like, you know, like you're just different from everybody else because you understand what this thing is and how important it is to us. And when you provide and deliver for it, you're gonna get your blessings and rewards, and of course your appreciation. You know, this is why I look at these different individuals. I look at 106 in Park. I look at the BET Hip Hop Awards, the BET Awards, MTV. Source Awards, and what is it? The NAACP Awards.
Yeah, they had just recently.
Right, Kendrick picked up 2 more awards from over there. So, you know, leave that man alone. But my point is, looking at these different pillars that we've given, like we need to lean back on them again because I felt like we haven't been using it enough. Like when you see Kendrick Lamar at a fashion show outdoors and he's sitting down rapping one of his songs off the Mr. Morale while the models do what they need to do and walk around with some clothes on. That's hip hop.
That's some real shit.
That's how you utilize hip hop to deliver, to give a performance. We need to start using that again because I felt like we stopped for a while when we let a bunch of young thugs run around, no pun intended. Right? So I just want to, you know, let's see what NK got to say about that. When you look at the pillars.
The pillar, like in terms of, I mean, what would we consider the pillars today? Because I mean, it's interesting with hip hop because I feel like, you know, when we talk about graffiti, there's DJing, breakdancing, MCing,
that's 4. Then you put in fashion is 5.
What do you feel like are like the newer ones?
6 is film.
Interesting. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah. I'd say 7. You can throw in streaming just based off impact alone.
Okay.
What was 8? Because I had a list. Damn. Those are just the ones off the top of my head right now. You can throw in. Honestly, you can throw in sports, low key.
Sports, okay.
And there's
very tied together.
Yeah.
So, but just looking at those alone, like, look at what you can do with that.
That is a lot, and I feel like I think part of because I think for some of the OG ones, like for example, like turntablism and like, you know, beatboxing. That's even another one we'd even talk about. Beatboxing, no one talks about beatboxing anymore. That's kind of like the forgotten son of hip hop.
There's still a culture behind that
Oh, it's a
too.
big
Funny
thing.
enough,
It's a big thing and that's the point I was gonna make, was that I feel like with the OG ones, there's been kind of like a divide in a sense. Like they've all kind of done their own things. But I feel like we should go back to like tying them together more closely. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, look, when you go to a show, there's gonna be a rapper, there's gonna be someone DJing. You know what I mean? However, in terms of like graffiti, right? Like, is that really like a thing? Like, it's like kind of its own subculture now, right? Breakdancing has become its own subculture now, which that's dope, and I think that's a good thing in its own right. But I feel like it could be dope. I feel like we can still draw from that well, you know, and kind of connect those things like more deliberately, kind of like moving into the future. But I feel like to a certain degree we don't. But it would be interesting to see, like, you know, those elements like more deeply connected, like moving forward, which might help with the problems we're talking about in terms of like in hip hop right now, because that's the other thing. And I talked about this a little bit the last time I was on your show, but like the other thing is that people like is again that history, right? People need to go back. You know, I seen something today about how Lil Yachty said the Sugar Hill Gang was like corny or something. Like he was talking about like the OG.
No,
like,
when he's saying like the old school rap was like trash.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like I feel like I could understand someone being like, okay, they just don't want to listen to that because yeah, it's technically it's outdated. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's like what however many years ago. But to act like all that shit was whack, come on, bro. Like you really gotta go back, like Africa Bombada, some of that stuff. I mean, he's kind of like, you know, some issues around that, like but if we're just speaking music, right? If we're just speaking music, like if you go back to even Rakim, you know what I mean? I can listen to some of that today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No question. So I feel like, you know, we have to stop downplaying it in the sense of like, oh, like don't say it's whack. Like you can say like, oh, like I don't want to listen to that every day.
Yeah,
right? I can respect that because, you know, I'm not sitting here listening to, you know, LL Cool J's radio every single day. No, like, you know, I might like a few one-off tracks, and if I hear it somewhere outside, I'm like, that's a classic. You know, that's part of the vibe of what created what we have today. But like people need to really go back and understand what they're doing. You know, it's like if you're a rapper, do you understand rap? Do you treat this like the same way a violinist picks up a violin and they practice every day and they really like hone into their skill and understand it? And I think that goes for even hip hop as a whole culture. Is like we have to understand like this is based in that. You know what I mean? Like this is a skill. Like if you choose to rap, not everyone can rap. There's a lot of people. Some people can write and they can't rap, right? Like so you have to have the voice for it. You got to know how to have a flow, cadence, all these things. So if you don't even know what those things are and you're just like on the mic doing whatever, that's how we get to where we're at now, you know. And you start training people's minds, the consumers' minds, to think it's good, you know what I mean? And then it starts to become good, but the only reason it's quote unquote good is because everyone's doing that, and that's kind of all there is.
Yeah,
certain regard, you know, at least in the mainstream. So I feel like, you know, that's the other piece too, where it's like when it comes to all these elements, let's go back, right? Let's understand like how all these things are connected. And go back to, you know, if someone's curating a show, how can you include those other elements as well? You know, the community aspect, even battle rap, we could even argue is a whole other like it's like kind of like a if like rap was like MC was a stem on the tree of hip hop, it's kind of like a small branch is battle rap too, you know. Like I wouldn't say it's like a element of hip hop on its own, but it's like it's tied to MCing as a whole fundamentally. You know, so even that, like, how could we utilize that? Because a lot of people don't even know when it comes to battle rap, a lot of it was used back in the day to quell tension. A lot of it was like, yo, such and such hood and such hood are beefing. Like, so instead of just like killing everybody, fuck it. Like, who's the best rapper in your hood? Who's the best rapper over there? Let them rap, and then just make it a fun thing. You know, same with breakdancing, same with anything else. But I think that community aspect is what's missing a lot of the time. You know, anyways, yeah, I'm ranting, but you know.
Nah, you good, bro. You know,
The snaps, you know. No, I agree, and I think it probably in this day and age take the right artist or artists to bring that essence back. I feel like it takes the one right person or whoever it may be to do the right rollout, who actually cares about the genre and incorporate some of these elements, or just at least give a reminder of how things used to be. And I think everyone will follow suit. We've seen things that are now back in the trends or whatever it may be. They were things that were popular 20-30 years ago, right? It's just the cycle of everything, I find, especially with art. So I think it's only a matter of time before some of these modest elements return back to the forefront, and we start to appreciate how they impacted hip-hop and overall long term. And I think, like I said, it would take the right artist to make that move. But I think it's just also comes down to the consumer, right? Like the consumer is realizing its appreciation for the genre and all the things that made up the genre and brought it to where it is now, and kind of what we lost, and maybe saying, okay, we may want to get back to a point like that or something similar, if not more better. Overall, just appreciating the genre and all the elements that help uplifted the genre, I think would be key for a lot of these artists now to really appreciate, because in turn it's going to help them long term. Their careers are going to be more stable, and it's not just about, oh, the music has to be like this. No, you have all these things that you can play into that can help build your concept, your album, your sound, and your artistry. So I think it's good that we discuss these pillars, and I think more people need to bring that into the conversation and just give a reminder to the new gen. Like, there's so many other avenues outside of your music being good and being genuine, right? There's so many other avenues that you can use to not only market your music, but kind of express your art, and hip hop was never just in a box. It was always more than that and influential. So yeah, I look forward to one day hoping that we get back to a point like that where it was like simpler times, right? But in a sense, people were able to have no limits to what they wanted to create, Yeah.
This goes back to the point I was making about architecture, structure, just the blueprints to this thing. So when I look at the pillars, that's the blueprint to creativity. Literally.
It's right there.
Every single one of them. It's all right there. You just need to study it a little bit. You don't have to know everything, but just study enough to just to help yourself, so you can make your process of creating a lot easier. That's all it takes. And it's so simple, but we forget these things. I find that interesting sometimes, because if you're not thinking about the pillars, what the hell are you thinking about?
Hits.
Don't even get me started, bro.
Perceived hits. Perceived.
Because they are not hit songs.
Yeah, they're not.
Bro, if we have Bow Wow come out and say none of these artists are making
that was crazy.
You have Bow Wow saying that?
Yeah, that's wild.
Bro, it could be any. You got Bow Wow. No disrespect to Bow Wow. It's just like out of the blue, you have Shad Moss just appear out of nowhere. Mind you, he got hits. So he's the right man for the job. It just like I was not prepared. I'm like, you?
Yep. That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's really bad.
Shad Moss.
If you had a child artist, like, mind you, Bow Wow was Lil Bow Wow. He was a child artist making hits, bro. He was the Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber.
Low key.
See what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are not ready for that conversation. I'm 10 toes down on that. But
he definitely was.
Exactly. Yeah. But if it's really gotten that bad, bro, just lean on your culture a little bit, bro. The hip hop is right there.
It's right there. That's it. It's right
and
there.
It's not like it's not gonna hurt your character or anything. It's gonna add to your character as long as you know what you're doing. If you're looking at these pillars and then you don't know what you're doing, we got a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of these artists have been fading out. These little like area code babies and all that. Like, y'all music not hitting. That's why they ran to TikTok to to drop their songs on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Then they catch a little virality, and then they feel better. Like, bro, your songs have no value because all it takes is another viral song to get you out of here. You're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that much.
That's crazy to me.
That much.
And here's the no, sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it. Go.
I was just gonna say just one thing I want to add to this point is that like even the way we like treat older music, I think needs to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is how I treat older music. This sounds crazy to some people, but anytime I listen to an album I've never heard before, it's a new album.
Mm-hmm.
If I've never heard an album before, it's a new album. Doesn't matter if it was made in 1972. Doesn't matter if it was made in 1998. I've never heard it before, right? So it's new to me. So I feel like a lot of people, they'll see the year on it and be like, oh, well, that was made in blank. That was, that's some old head, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like, no. But there's some stuff people, if they were to hear it and really absorb, they'll be like, yo, like, this could have came out yesterday. Yeah. Easy. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't approach it like that, like when it comes to creativity. So they think, oh, well, I'm trying to keep with the trend and whatever. But it's like any trend that exists now is based on something that came before it. So if you don't understand what came before, and like you said, Flex, you don't have to know everything. Nobody knows everything. It's impossible, right? You can't listen to every album ever made in even hip hop, let alone another genre. You know what I mean? It's too much. You'll spend your whole life listening to music and doing nothing else, and you still won't hear all the albums. So because of that, like, but at least try. It's like the effort. You got to put in that effort to understand that, like, yeah, I've never heard this before. So a lot of people, there's like so many different subgenres. Bro, I heard it was like a Memphis album from like the mid 90s or something. It was like some like dark album, but it could have came out yesterday. And you can tell it was like kind of the precursor to like what 3-6 and like some of these other groups were doing. But it was some, like, I wish I remember the name of it, but like it was something like that where it was like, damn, like this could have came out, like a few years ago. But
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Project Pat.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah, it might have been.
Evil ass beats.
That's what I'm saying.
But them shits were bangers, though.
They were hard.
They were
They definitely were, man.
But like stuff like that, like, like there's so much, even like in the early 2000s, like there's so much, even like underground stuff that no one's ever heard of. Even when I brought up Little Brother earlier, if you've never listened to Little Brother, try listening to a Little Brother album. Like if you've heard of Ninth Wonder, who's like a producer, he produced some stuff for like even Jay, like a bunch of even other artists and stuff. And like, he's a really dope producer. And if you were to hear it and someone told you this dropped today, you'd be like, yeah, I can see this dropping today. Because that's timeless. Stuff like that is timeless. Even when it's technically old, and even if it sounds old, like I can put on It Was Written and be like, yo, like, this is fresh because it sounds really good. So I feel like people, we need to change the way we relate to older music and stop thinking like, oh, this is just old head. Because I think about it, all those producers we like, Timbo, Dilla, Pharrell, etc. A lot. Anytime they sampled, what were they sampling? Old music. Old music. Classics. Or it was even obscure stuff you never even heard before that no one even knew about like that because they were digging in the crates. Like actually, so we wouldn't have gotten, Drop It Like It's Hot or like whatever. If not for that, right? Even Timbo, so many of the things he sampled were like old Indian music he was sampling.
We wouldn't even Juicy.
Love them beats.
Come on.
Like, think about all the Missy stuff. We never would have gotten that if that never happened. We never would have gotten. Some of those are like old, like Indian songs from like 1976 or something. Like, like where like we need to like tap into that. That's hip hop, because that's what gives hip hop and hip hop so much strength, is the fact that like you can do any genre within hip hop.
Yeah.
You can just sample any genre and make it hip hop. Easy. So if there's even a new genre coming out of in a certain part of the world right now, someone can sample it and that's a whole subgenre of hip hop potentially. So
Canada can do the same.
Facts. Especially with the amount of different backgrounds like in Canada. Like, come on.
In
You
4
mentioned this
years.
before too, Flex. Like even like indigenous music, right? Native, like there are some some native groups that touch on that. I've heard them sampling their own stuff, which is dope.
Yeah,
but it needs to happen more.
bro. I've been saying that for years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're right there. They already have artists.
Yeah.
Send an email, DM something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get something popping around here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because you can turn that into something and then give them royalties off that.
Easy. Yeah.
That's money in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I put money in their pocket.
That's
Just
the
off
issue,
of
though.
hip hop. That's what I'm talking about with hip hop, though.
That's true.
Look how many blessings hip hop can give out.
Mhm.
Just
That's
something as
true.
simple as that.
That's true. I mean, shit, if artists were smart, you could even like an artist can be like, okay, I'm gonna sample this and let's just split 50-50.
Mm.
Everything 50-50 down the middle.
Literally.
Done deal. Done deal.
These artists now they don't even want to have that or even know to even have those type of conversations.
That's the issue.
Right. And they're just thinking about it's just all quick succession, right?
Mhm.
So hits, number ones. I don't care how my music sounds as long as they push it.
Mhm.
And that's it. And then more times they're like, just let the label do it that, right? Like right. Like we gotta have these artists who are actual artists start thinking like the A&Rs and the executives too. Right. That's like further your career. Right. So it goes sometimes.
That's a good point. And that's and Flex, the point you made earlier, even about like kind of like unsung heroes, right? Whether it's like in the music industry or whatever. I think that's the other issue. This is an issue I've had with pop music for a long time, where it's like, you know, we're looking at the final product, right? So someone will listen to like a Beyonce song, Lady Gaga song, whatever. I've heard people say this, oh, like I like Lady Gaga's music, you know, I like her beats. I'm like, you nigga, you really think she's making beats? Like you think or I like her fashion. You think she made that? You think she even like she might have not even have chosen it, right? They have someone hired to do fashion. They have someone hired to make the beats. There's multiple producers, multiple engineers, like, you know, stage designers. All these different things go into it, but we don't perceive labor, and that's the issue. We think these things just come out of nowhere, so we're just like, oh, you know, this, I love what this person does, like, but it's like, but people are so ignorant about how music is even made and how these products are even made that they ascribe everything to that individual when that individual is just one cog in like a giant machine, you know. So we have to start respecting the labor that actually goes behind everything and those people that are doing that labor too. But
bro, and that was exactly their job. They were the manager. They made the phone call to the producer.
Yep.
They made the phone call to the stylist. They made the phone call to the choreographer. Just plain and simple. You think Lady Gaga came out knowing how to dance? Bro, Vincent confirmed it. She couldn't dance.
Yeah,
they had to teach her how to dance.
She had to learn the rhythm.
So when she came out on what's that one song, Poker Face, and she hit that little choreography, somebody taught her that.
They hired a choreographer to teach her to do that.
Some of her most known songs come from that era.
I may break some hearts with this one. Chris Brown has a choreographer.
1000%. Michael Jackson had choreographers.
There you go.
It wasn't all just them.
No
team behind it. Always. Even the greatest. They can dance, but they need choreography.
Exactly,
bro. I remember learning that on some of the old Motown records, you know how they like on a lot of the songs you'll hear like someone playing like a tambourine or a shaker or something, right? We think, oh, this is like a basic instrument, anybody can just pick that thing, bro. They were flying niggas out, bro. They were like, okay, we need this nigga to play the tambourine, and this is the only nigga that's gonna play the tambourine or the shaker on this song, and they flew them out just to play the tambourine. That's it. And they were killing it too.
Professional.
Yes.
That just come in just
I'm saying
like, bro, like
yes. And I can't do what that person does, and no one else can but them, you know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to me, bro. Like the way we overlook these little things. We can't keep doing that, bro.
Nope.
We cannot keep doing that, especially in today's day and age. Times are changing, bro. The music industry, it's looking real interesting. It's looking real interesting. Like when I just look at the future of this, I have hope. But if we don't knock in, bro, who knows what's gonna happen in the next couple of years? All I know in the next couple of years, streaming might be out of here.
Possible.
Because we're reverting back to being outside. I don't know if I'm pretty sure some people around here are familiar with Gary V.
Oh
Gary
yeah.
V.
What's that?
You don't know Gary V?
It's that white guy, right?
It's like the philosophical dude.
Gary V.
And he has like a channel.
You should know him by face.
Oh, I've seen this guy before. Yeah, I've seen this guy before. Yep. I've seen his content before.
I seen he had a short the other day, and he was talking about what does the future look like? He said the future looks like it's going to be outside again. Concerts are going to matter. The live performance, busking, is going to matter. Being in the moment and not witnessing the moment is going to matter. Putting your phone down might be the moment now.
Yeah.
You be at an NBA game, everybody holding out their phone.
That part's good.
With the flash on, we might be putting our phones down soon. You know, we're already outside, like those little DJ events that are not in clubs, but at little venues.
Sound clash, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Not even a sound clash, it's like a little, like, you know, like a little rotation in a sense. You know? That's gonna matter again. A lot of us might have to start purchasing bikes.
Why
Being
not?
outside matters. You know?
Good exercise.
Plain and simple. Streaming, bro. Dudes are chasing streaming and y'all are not even getting paid.
Yeah.
How is that your future?
It's too much now. It's too much now, man.
Let's dead it, bro. Let's dead it.
It's direct to consumer now. Funny enough, UMG signed a deal with that company that is literally direct to consumer. That means the labels are seeing the future as direct to consumer.
I know.
They're looking at y'all streaming like, oh, y'all days are numbered, but we're not gonna tell you though. Anyway, can you just sign on a dotted line here so we can, like, you know, we can get in business? Like, that's literally what's happening.
Sure.
So y'all better get them websites together. You know, go pay somebody to put together some unique website.
Facts.
You know, get a little discount code for your friends just to make them feel better. You know, and start selling your projects. If you got like somebody that can hook you up with some vinyls, you know, go purchase a set amount of vinyls, start selling those vinyls with some like hoodies or something. Put a little package together.
Artists can even do there's like some websites you can go to where it's on demand now. Like they take a relatively big percentage. However, if that's the only option you have, why not? You know what I mean? You'll still make some bread. You don't have to do any of the, you know, put up any of the upfront money, nothing. You just like set it up and then people buy it through, you know, whatever website you put it on, and then they get their vinyl, you get a little cut. Why not? You know, like, why not?
And I'm just gonna add this point before I pass it on. Like, going back to what Gary V said, being outside matters, but look what comes with being outside. Look how that changes music, how that changes a performance, how that shows that this performance matters more than putting it on these DSPs. Right? You're letting go of this crutch and you're going to start to use your legs again. Plain and simple. Yeah, the idea of being outside is like at face value. Yeah, you're outside. But when you start going through the details and you notice how it changes so much, the future of music is going to be different. And it's going to be interesting. Y'all better get y'all money together too, because them live concerts, oh buddy.
Yikes.
It's not about being expensive, it's about how many are going to be happening.
It's gonna be a lot.
So I want to go ahead and pass it off to y'all. Like, yo, what the future? Just speaking on the future of music. What do y'all think?
Shit. like you said, I think is bright, man. I have hope, and I get excited when I hear things like, "Oh, streaming might be done." I'm like, yeah, I'm I'm already over just the discourse and what it's done to people's minds. I have no problem going back to physical media. No problem going back to how it was when we were kids, man. Because that shit sounded normal to me. I didn't know cared who sold what back then, and I just liked the music. And with the streaming out the equation, it's going to be a lot more difficult to be, oh, this person did this, this, and that first week, monthly, this and that. Like that's going to be completely gone, right?
Yeah.
So people will have to appreciate the music, and in turn, that's going to create artists that are going to have to make music to be appreciated in the first place, right? So I'm all for it. And direct to consumer, we've been said was the future, right? Like I think anybody with the brain that knows the industry and the ins and outs, you knew it wasn't gonna last this way. Just like the film industry and the streaming platforms they have 50 platforms for the same movies, $30 each. Why did they think that we would get every single platform, right? That's why I said Netflix will be the first and last streaming platform. That was always my opinion because of that same situation. Same with the music, right? So we're getting to a point now where it's coming back to the physical. It's coming back to appreciating live performances. It's coming back to actually creating these settings again, where the music can last, and it's not just about the validation or what trend or challenge is put with whatever gimmick it is to sell the music. It's the music that sells, So I'm looking forward to it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking forward to it. And if it's gonna be chaotic because people put everything on streaming, so be it. Seems like to me we're gonna be getting rid of the ones that shouldn't be in the first place.
That part.
Right. So I'm excited, bro. I'm looking forward.
That's the thing, because I think it's promising. I think it's two things at the same time. It's daunting, but it's also promising. You know what I mean? Because obviously, we are still having to deal with like AI, music, and like all this type stuff too. So like that's a component as well. However, at the same time, like I think a lot of people aren't looking for that too. So I think there's a lane there. So I feel like in terms of the future, like the future is what we make of it. At the end of the day, I think as listeners, as artists, as content creators, like we have to realize that like as little as it might seem, especially when we're not like popping or whatever, everything has an impact. You know what I mean? Everything has an impact. That one random person that might watch a video that one of us makes could be deeply influenced by something we said or something we did, and that could be part of creating the culture. You know what I mean? So I think we all have to like play our role. If we want to see the world we want to see, how do we, as individuals, but also collectively? So for those of us, like, whether it's us three sitting in here or, everybody in the chat, whatever, like what can you do on some level, to move things in the same direction? And part of that is just listening to the stuff you like, on the music tip, or watching the movies you like or the shows you like. But I think we should take it a step further, right? Like, again, if you really like that artist and they're coming to town or they're a town over, go see them, buy that ticket, make that drive, make it a trip, make it a family trip, whatever it is. If you see something you like, from your favorite artist, don't just like it, repost it, share it with somebody that you think might like that type of stuff, because even speaking from an artist perspective, like that's the reality now, is that like the way the algorithm works, even people that follow you don't see your content, on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. On YouTube, maybe if they subscribe and they hit the bell, maybe, right? But outside of that, which most people aren't doing that, unfortunately, but outside of that, like, I have friends that make music, and there was this one artist, her name is Shin Shin. She does like kind of like experimental, she's a Black woman, she makes like experimental type music. She's based out in I think she's either in Hamilton or Toronto now. But she might have moved to Mexico. But anyways, the point is, she moves around a lot. But the point is, we literally had like a conversation one-on-one one time, and she was talking about, oh yeah, like, I just released this, and I'm like, you released what? I didn't see it. Yeah. And then I go on her page, bare post, and I'm like, yo, like, that's crazy. Like, I like, you released something, I would want to listen to what you released, and I haven't seen any of it, even though I'm following you and we're friends.
That's the algorithm, though.
So and that's why the direct to consumer stuff is important, because it's true. Like we have to, bro. When I first started making music and promoting, I was a maniac. Like I would go online, bro. Do you know Last FM?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it was kind of like streaming before streaming, but basically it was more so focused on making like a database of everything you listen to. They called it scrobbles. So you would basically use Windows Media Player or iTunes, whatever, and then Last.fm would hear whatever you're listening to and record it on Last.fm, and then it'd be like, okay, this year you listen to MOP, this year you listen to whatever the most. Like it was like that, bro. I used to go on people's pages and be like, yo, I just made this, like I made like some shitty mixtape when I was in high school. I'm like, yo, I just made this mixtape, bro. It helped me, to be honest. Like it was a lot of work. It took a lot of time, but I messaged like thousands of people, no bullshit, and I got some fans out of that, actually. You know, I'm not saying everybody should be doing that per se. Like it kind of isn't like for the amount of work that goes into it, you won't get that much out of it. But I'm just saying, in terms of like just reaching people directly, you know, whether it's in real life, online, like that needs to happen more. And I think that will also help, you know, us move in that direction we're talking about, where it's like, you know, people won't only be absorbing I've heard this term, like the TikTokification of music. It's a very real thing.
Yeah.
Very real thing. Like now you like, bro, I went to a show like not long ago, and there was an artist who was very talented. He was a younger guy too, I'm probably like a decade older than him. And I can just tell his songs were made for that. You know what I mean? Because the songs wouldn't even have no, like, there would be no like 2-bar, 4-bar setup before it dropped. It just drops. And then even he was shocked. Even he was like, oh shoot, my song's starting. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and he's hella talented, very dope. But I'm just watching it like, damn, like I could just tell, like, and obviously his songs were mad short, you know what I mean? Talking like minute 30, you know what I'm saying? Nah, like, you know, make them shits longer, like, you know, like put some switch ups, change ups in there if you need to. But like, you know, even the idea of you know, the beauty in repetition, I think has been lost to a certain degree too in music, where it's like, bro, like in some older music, bro, niggas will have a loop, like they'll just be playing one riff, whatever, songs like 9 minutes, bro. Like crazy. You know, and the shit's dope. And it's dope. Like if you listen to a lot of like older what's the like Fela Kuti and stuff, like what's that genre called? Let me double check.
Oh, it was, man, you going way back, bro.
Afro beats. So not Afro beats, Afro beat without the S. Most of that music is just like that, where it's like, you know, they just got bare dope musicians. Songs like 8 minutes, 7 minutes, and you're just sitting there bopping to it. Like, you know, if you play that in the car,
the flow is the key.
The flow, that's it. The flow state and that getting that moment and that groove. And even early hip hop has that. You know what I mean? A lot of it has that. You listen to a lot of these older albums, like it's like, but it's like the loop was so good that you could listen to it. Like think Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Just like there's some of their biggest hits is just like a few notes, like, you know,
simple, but it sounds so hard.
Dun, 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 dun. Like that's it, and it's amazing. You know, I could listen to that all day, but I feel like sometimes that is getting lost, where it's like, yo, like we have to start learning how to be patient again with music. You know what I mean? And really understanding that like this like true art takes time to like be truly appreciated sometimes, and that's okay, you know. But again, you know, but I'm hopeful. I do think, you know, a lot of these things are good signs. I'm glad that streaming is slowing down. But we have to start fighting back against the algorithms and the setups, because it's only designed for those companies to make money. That's it. It's not about art at the end of the day.
And then funny enough, when you talk about flow state, like going back to the pillars again, that's under MCing. Bro, when you hear Kendrick's verse on Chains and Whips, that's maximum level flow state. Like tell me I'm wrong. Like the whole gen, like the gen wordplay in the bars, that's elite level flow state. That's S tier flow state. So with that, along with the bars, that's what matters right now. Going back to On the Radar, the freestyle that they had the other day. Refreshing. Very refreshing. So The sky's the limit at this point. But going back to what King Hammer said when he came in here shortly, like, yeah, we see what's going on, but we also got to be aware and, be a couple steps ahead. Bro, what happened at BAFTA?
Bro, don't even get me.
Bro, don't even started, bro.
But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I'm not necessarily looking at dude. Like, you have the word on your mind. That's another point, but I'm looking at the production. I'm looking at the production staff because y'all had 2 hours to cut it out, but you didn't. You got to be aware. Like, yo, as much fun as we can have just talking about these things and then creating, you also got to be aware. Like, you got to go past all these corporate heads that still have their hands on this thing. Right? You just got to be ready at this point. Because
they probably knew the controversy would get them views. Honestly, like that's. But
they wanted,
like they kind of low key wanted it out there so that it can be like, oh well, this will get people's eyes on this because maybe this is my theory. I'm not saying this is a fact,
but I'll follow it.
You're right though.
I'll follow it. Look at the desperation. Because nobody knew about BAFTA. It's the same way how nobody knows about the Junos.
Facts.
People don't watch the BAFTAs like that.
So just got to be aware, bro. Like, even like with the Chains and Whip situation, how they didn't want that song to come out, and then the clips had to leave.
Pay the 7 figures or whatever, right?
You might have you might have an elite level song and they don't want to put it out.
Yep.
What?
Then what? Just got to stay ready. Is it all it is, man? Got to stay ready, guys. Hey, we killed this one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Good one, man.
We killed this one. This was light. You know what I'm saying? This was light. This was a vibe today. Flow state on 10 with this one. You know, we did our thing. So shout out to NK, Lightwalker, the guys right there.
Specs Flex.
Y'all already know.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to the chat. Y'all tapped in. But man, just like a final thought, like my head is up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? My head is up.
Facts.
I want to see what's over the fence. What y'all got for us?
Shit.
Let me be that the nosy neighbor.
I mean, I agree with you. I feel like having a conversation like this is refreshing. But also at the same time, it's a reminder of the hope that we can have, because everything is so daunting. It's daunting 24/7. It's bleak. It's no hope. It's AI. It's all these things. It's like, but then when you have these conversations, you get back down to the thick of it. The bare minimum of it. Right? We can see hope is right there.
Notice I never brought up AI still.
Yeah, that's a whole other conundrum, right? But doing that, like we understand all the plights and all the things going on, right? And all the negatives, right? But I think the key to restoring the balance is right there for us. We're so close to it. And I feel like now is the perfect time for people like us, the artists, whoever it may be, to really take a stance and reaffirm that conversation, right?
That's a fact.
Conversations like this are important. They're imperative. You stamped it into the ether. People will come back to this years from now and see it, right? And look back and say, yeah, grateful that these things happened 10, 12 years ago, because now we're in a different place, right? So, I got hope, man, just like you, bro.
For real, man.
Strongly agree.
Yep.
That's a fact, though, Josh.
Right?
You scream notifications, bro. Yo,
that's a fact. Not one. That's kind of crazy, though.
That's crazy.
Like, not one,
talk, bro.
Like, we're being real.
But they'll come like this. They'll come, yo. And like, yo, Drake is the greatest of all time, and like, Kendrick shouldn't even respond if Drake disrespects his baby mom. Like, no one in the city listens to this guy. Only Drake will overall for the next 100 years. That's what it is, bro. I'm tired of it, fam. I'm so tired of it, family.
bro, you make me
no. Yo, clip that,
ladies
bro.
and gentlemen.
yo, Flex,
Ladies and
clip
gentlemen, that was down to the T. That was down to the T.
Yo,
because you know,
clip that.
we live this every day. We have to hear this nonsense
Daily.
I'm sorry.
Hourly, minutely.
Oh God, I'm going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like,
oh my God.
Sorry for cutting you off, bro. Sorry.
Nah, bro. That's funny as hell. Right? Like, yo, and it's fact because that is crazy. Like, there's like I can't. Maybe it exists out there somewhere. I don't know, but we know there's no one talking like this in Canada right now when it comes to hip hop, especially hip hop in Canada. Like, bro, it's bad. So bad. With a bro. It's bad,
y'all, we're not trying to name no names, but please understand we are those guys.
Yes.
So
nah,
bro, you had that down to a T. I'm not done with that.
Nah, that's funny, bro.
Yo, hey, listen, we're the counterculture here, right? We survive because the bullshit is everlasting in Toronto. Anyone that's watching from outside the city, we will say it all the time, but we can never put it into words. How much bullshit thrives in this place, right? So we will do our very best to be the counter to the bullshit, no matter what.
1,000.
I guarantee that. I got faith in here. I know. We can do it.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, no, I'm still processing that too, Flex. Trust me, bro. I'm still processing it too.
No, you don't. That
for the trailer, bro.
Bro, you don't understand though. Like, bro, I know about 7 classrooms filled with dudes like that.
I'm telling you,
like it's bad. It's bad. Like it's very bad, and it's like, yo, this is the norm. And if we say anything else but that, it's a highlight.
Mind you, guys and girls.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's everybody. Everyone's involved. Everyone's involved, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. And I think part of that too, even when it comes to here, like even to connect it to the bigger conversation we're having, but like talking about it even like within Canada specifically is like same thing here. Like Canada has a history of like, you know, hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Canada was part of it. Like it played a small part in it in the early years, but it played a part. Like one of the earliest hip hop songs ever made was like in like 1979 was made in Toronto by a rapper. I think Mr. Q. He was from Flint, Michigan, but he lived in and it was a Caribbean label that put it out. They didn't even put out hip hop like that. They were mostly like R&B and reggae and stuff. And they put out
Eglinton, right?
Yeah.
Say it again. Yeah. Was it the Eglinton studio?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think so.
That's crazy.
And they put out like it was like the second or third hip hop song ever like released or something like out of Toronto. You know what I mean? So it's like, but people here don't even know that. They don't know about like Michi Me. They don't know about what's his name? Maestro. They don't like, so because of that, I think like that gets lost. Even they don't even know about Cardinal. You know what I mean? Like especially these newer youths and stuff. Like they don't even know about Cardinal. Nope. So I think, or Chaos, or like even though like Chaos, you know, in real life there's some issues there, but creatively, right? Let's be like, but creatively, you know, with like, so I feel like those are the things we need to start emphasizing more. Julie Black, there you go, etc.
Yup, Rascals.
Rascals, facts. Yep. So you know, even okay, I won't say Swollen members as a whole.
Kanon.
But even like Mocha Only, who was like partially in that like kind of sphere, like Kanon, like so it's like, you know, like so those are the things that I think we need to like amplify more in these conversations. You know what I mean? Because there wouldn't be no Drake if it wasn't for all these people. You know. Sure. So, like at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that, like, you know, the history here too does have some roots. So we have to like understand what those roots are, which can also help us to develop something new, you know? And like we were talking about earlier, even like what are the roots of even Canada as a whole, you know, before even, you know, white people came here and did all this stuff. It was native people, you know what I mean? There's native hip-hop artists, you know. Which ones of them are dope? I'm sure some of them are dope. So it's like, what? So we have to, you know, think about that too. Like, who can we connect to, even in the Black community, you know, so that we can really dig into creating something new in our context that's based on some of the roots here, you know, too. So I think that would go a long way for sure.
Yeah, bro. And then, hey, mind you, the same things that we talked about, what's been going on in the industry behind the scenes, is the same things that happened here, which is why those same legacy names that we mentioned have been forgotten.
Facts.
Yep.
All right. So
facts. But watch when one of them dies and niggas gonna start acting like they knew these niggas from time and they were like, watch. Or they'll just not even acknowledge them like that. We'll see, but
we shall see.
They wouldn't know who they were because all the people that work there now, they're focused on some other ish.
Legacy talent. Yep.
Yeah, so it's what it is at this point. I think at this point we can end it here, man.
Right, we will counter the BS.
We will end it here. Yo, hey, listen, like I said, we killed this. This was a good one.
Respects, man.
You know, nice, easy, panel, flow, clean. Nothing but vibes, laughter, education, like all around quality in this one. You know what I'm saying? And we did it for the culture and Black history. You know, so this was definitely necessary, especially for Canada.
Yes.
Like Canadians, y'all might need to listen to this one. Even though we were talking about a lot of American topics, like I said at the beginning, that's our window. We're looking through the window watching this because that's the same thing happening here. Right? So,
but that's the thing. Even for radio stations that were even up here, like Flow 93.5, back in the day, I used to listen to that as a kid
all the time.
I got exposed to a lot of Canadian
hip
hop stuff and American stuff through that as well.
Man, 93.5, bro. Oh my God, bro.
Back in the day, it was lit. Before it got trash, it was good.
Flow
93.5 before it became Drake 93.5. It was fire.
When they were bought off by the white folks, right?
Yeah,
right.
It fell off.
They ain't the same.
It's not even 93.5 no more. I think they're like, what is it?
I don't think it's something else now
or something.
Yeah. Is it still Flow?
I don't even know.
No, I don't think
something else now.
Yeah, now 93.5 is
gone.
What the hell? Formerly the cities, it's no longer because it used to be a Black owned station too.
Yeah,
so
they got
it's
that
not a thing
here.
anymore. Not a thing anymore. So
like
now it's 98.7. Like, ew.
What, bro?
Bro, 93.5. That's an area code for us, technically.
Oh, and now it says this. It now plays an eclectic mix of music rather than urban contemporary. So it's not even like it's not even hip hop and stuff no more. They're just playing like they're probably just playing like soft rock or something.
Bro, it's just a fancy way of saying top 40, bro. Crazy. Nah, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good. Dead ass, bro.
I'll pass.
So hopefully next time we can have J Tom, because J Tom said he was gonna be on the next one.
Shout out.
You know, King Hammer, he had a lot of chores, like he was saying. So it's all good. You listen, you gave us the nugget that we need to hold the conversation down. Regardless, we appreciate you for that.
Yes.
Respects, J Tom. Yeah.
Right. So shout out to y'all for sure, man. Anyway, at this point, we're gonna get up out of here. Expect to upload soon. Another one to add to the episodes. So until next time, let's see what else we're gonna get into. You know, and who else could be on here? Because remember, this is open to any creator. You know, as long as they can hold down a conversation, we clearly displayed that today. Any creator can could be on this.
Facts. Even if you disagree with all of us on everything, come on.
Let's talk.
Let's have a safe space.
Let's
make it more entertaining.
Let's have a little debate. You know what I'm saying?
We'll talk our shit, but as long as it's respectful, that's it. You know?
Facts. But yeah, shout out to the chat, shout out to the Flex Mob, the Shadow Mob, anybody and everybody in between. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're gonna get up out of here, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Be well, be safe, stay true, be you, live long, and long live.
Much love, bro.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.